Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good and staying safe like usual. And today I'm back with the usual review of the Q&A segment of the Miss World competition that happened recently. I hope that all of you did watch the competition. First of all, a huge congratulations to Miss Poland for winning the blue crown. And also congratulations to Manasa Varanasi because top 12 is not a small feat. And in today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the questions that were asked to the top 6 contestants of Miss World competition. Now, I always believe that there's a lot to learn from the way every contestant chooses to answer their final question, not just the content, but the structure, the delivery, and the overall impact in the answer, which is the most important thing, especially when it's your final question. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. The first question that was asked during the Miss World competition, and during the competition this time, it was a little confusing because they were not really calling out the name of the country before they asked the question. So at first, it was a little difficult for the viewers and the audience to figure out who this question is being addressed to. However, we can still review and analyze the Q&A segment. So the first question was, what have we all learned from the COVID pandemic? This question was addressed to Cote d'Ivoire. I finally learned how to pronounce the name of this country. And in fact, this same country is also known as the Ivory Coast in America and a couple of other places. So you can always call it that as well. Now, this question is not surprising at all because we know that ever since 2020, a lot of pageants do have their finale questions based on the COVID pandemic. What is the silver lining? What have we learned from it? What is your way of, still sticking to your goals and working towards them? Back in Miss Supranational 2020, I believe, there were a lot of questions that were centered around the COVID pandemic, and the same continued this time with Cote d'Ivoire in Miss World as well. Now, since the question is not that difficult to predict or to answer rather, however, what Cote d'Ivoire said in her answer is that I believe that the COVID pandemic has taught us all to be better. And to summarize her answer, the key words that I have been able to note down is that it has taught us to persevere and get up every time we fall down. Now, what my opinion on this answer is, it's a good answer, but is it a winning answer? Not so sure about that because it was a regular answer that any other contestant I would see also giving. So when it's your finale question and whenever you're preparing for predictable questions, which I will talk about in another video coming very, very soon, then in that case, you need to have strong key phrases, you have to have a strong punchline. What is going to make your answer stand out? How is it going to be more impactful than other answers? Because believe me, the questions are not that difficult, they're not that tricky, but the way you answer a very simple question, it helps you stand out among contestants. Now, if you want to learn how to deliver answers with not just the correct answer, but also an impactful answer, then do check out the online batch that has been announced for April for pageant training at Conquer with Nikita Tanwani, where I work individually with students and help them prepare for the interview segment of beauty pageants. We distribute several worksheets that you can practice before, during, and after the course. And with a huge question bank with the type of techniques and strategies that we will be teaching you on how to deliver an impactful answer, I can guarantee that the pageant interview segment will not be that difficult for you anymore. And so to summarize, while Cote d'Ivoire's answer was not bad or wrong or incomplete in any way, however, I did not find the punch in the answer because that was a very generic statement for me. The next question that was asked to Indonesia was, can we ever overcome inequality? I think this is a really good question. It gives the contestant so many opportunities to talk about inequality in various aspects. Now, Indonesia's answer, the good thing that she did was she directly jumped to the solution that was being asked for in the question, and she did not beat around the bush and talk about inequality because that's not what the question was asking for. Even though there was no time limit during the Miss World Q&A segment this time, but you still have to stick to what the question is asking for and not talk about relevant or related topics. So she directly said that in order to overcome inequality, we have to join together and respect each other's differences. But most of our answer was still centered around gender inequality, whereas the question was not talking about gender inequality, it was talking about inequality in general. And so I felt that while the answer again was really good, But there is so much that she could have spoken about apart from gender inequalities, such as the discrimination that people face on a day-to-day basis because of their economic strata or because of their sexuality. And I felt that on that platform, if she had brought in a more unique solution to this particular question, it would have been slightly more impactful, because joining together and respecting differences is something those keywords could have fit into any other answer as well. So you see how, again, this answer did not really stand out to me as a winning answer. The next question was asked to USA Shri Seni, and the question was, which human right do you value the most? Shri Seni's answer is all over the internet. I believe she killed it with her final answer. It was so well structured, it was so well spoken, the conviction, the passion, everything was there in it. And her answer, she comes to the point very, very quickly. So you see how there's a good structure to her answer. She says, the human right that I value the most is, takes a pause, and she says dignity. Right there, she seals it in, she locks it in that this is my answer, and then she starts to elaborate on it, why she believes that dignity is the most important human value. And that is how one should always answer pageant interview questions. While I'm not going to be putting their exact word-to-word answers here, because you can always watch that on YouTube, on Instagram, and anywhere else, it's everywhere, I loved the way that Shri Seni also concluded her answer. She said that if we, through communication, we can solve so many problems, and if we see everyone as equal, then we will be able to come together and solve problems as one unit. And every single statement that she was making had a reason to be in the answer. There was nothing that felt like this was just an extra sentence which was not really needed in the answer. So it was very well structured. You need to have a strong beginning so that you stay on track. You need to have an impactful ending, which Shri Seni delivered, and you also have to have a lot of substance in the middle part of your answer. So I believe if you want to learn how to answer pageant interview questions, Shri Seni's answer was on point. The next question was given to Northern Ireland. Now the question for her was, Nelson Mandela said that Miss World is the most important event for empowering women. How has Miss World empowered you? Now, how Northern Ireland answered this question is that first off, she began as very candid. So I liked that her answer did not start off in a very rehearsed manner. But she started off saying that I am a primary school teacher and today I'm standing here on this stage and platform of Miss World. So it's a huge deal, which I liked that in the beginning. Then she went on to say that Miss World has empowered women in the sense that it has brought all these different women from different cultures and backgrounds together, and how we have learned to respect each other's differences, and we are all unique. Now what happened here is, I think she lost track of what the question was really asking, because yes, pageants have brought in different women from different backgrounds and all of that. However, that is not how it empowers women. And the question specifically asked, how has it empowered you? And so I believe that Northern Ireland completely missed the mark of the question. And that is why, guys, it's so important to listen to the question. And there are so many things such as these that we teach during our classes as well, because it's one thing that when we look at a question and we think, oh, this is quite easy, I know how to answer this, I'll do it. But then when you're actually on that stage and you have to answer questions, and there, you unless you've really practiced answering, unless you've had a mentor give feedback, unless you've done mock interviews, unless you've actually rehearsed the exact moment that you are preparing for, it might not always turn out the way that you imagined it in your head, which is why practice and preparation is so important. And now the next question that was asked to Poland was, what is the most important discovery yet to be discovered? And like everyone's talking about it, I believe this is a very tricky question, and she did get one of the most trickiest questions out of all the top 6 contestants. But the way she handled it was very beautiful. In fact, it did remind me of how Manasa Varanasi chose to answer the question of, if there was one rule that you could break, what would it be? So while that question is a common question, but the twist that Manasa gave to it was pretty unique, and we've never heard an answer like that before. But what Poland did is, here, instead of talking about a scientific discovery or a technological discovery, because there is so much that you would have to think about if you go into those fields, and with limited time to start delivering your answer, Poland used a very smart strategy, and she said that it costs us so little to reach a life, right? It costs us so little, everyone can do it. And that discovery that all of us are capable of making a difference is one of the most important discoveries that has not been discovered yet. Even talking about it has given me goosebumps, because it was such a unique and Miss World appropriate twist to this particular question, because throughout the competition, Poland has not been actively involved, but also through every time that she gets an opportunity to speak her mind and to use her voice on the given platform that she has been talking about being of service to people. And there are so many people watching the pageant who would think that now Miss World is going to create a difference because she has the platform, but the message that Miss Poland is putting out is that each one of us has the capacity to make a difference. And I think that is so beautiful. And it was so simple, the way it was structured, the emotion with which she said it. It was a beautifully and well delivered answer. And at this stage of the competition, we started to realize, all right, we might have our top 3, but one of the most interesting and fan favorite countries is still pending, and that was Mexico. The last question, which is question 6, was given to Mexico, and the question was, what would you say to the future generations about protecting the planet? Again, not that tricky of a question, considering it's just been asked in Miss Universe. Climate change is a pretty relevant topic right now. And when it comes to Mexico, everyone had really high expectations. What Mexico started saying in her answer is that to protect the planet, I would tell the younger generations that you have to start from home. Our youth is the building block of our world. And then as soon as she started coming to the point of the answer, because so far you see that she hasn't really given a solution except the phrase start from home. Now that is not what the exact message is going to be, because that doesn't really explain anything. It doesn't really inspire the younger generation to actually do something about protecting the planet. Whereas if you remember Harnaz's answer back at Miss Universe, not her finale question, the one before that, she used this line where she said it's more important to prevent and protect than repent and repair. Now that was how you deliver impact in your answer. Here what happened with Mexico, first of all, do not beat around the bush, directly come to the point of the question, right? So she was not getting to the point. And as soon as I felt that her answer had just begun, oh, now she's going to give us a message, or now she's going to give us a solution, her answer ended and concluded there. So overall, there was hardly an answer in the question, and that's what I felt happened with Indonesia as well, because she did not speak about inequality and other aspects. What happened with Northern Ireland is that she again completely missed the part of the question. And so even though sometimes pageant questions do sound similar, but that doesn't mean that the answer is going to be the same. You have to pay close attention to what was being asked. Have I covered everything that the question was probably expecting of me? Have I utilized the opportunity that was being given to me through the medium of a question to speak about a certain cause or a certain issue? And so there is so much strategy into making a winning answer and not just another contestant who answered the question. Because by now, I'm sure you all know that pageant questions are not tricky. It's not something that you might not know the answer to. It's questions that everybody knows the answer to, but it's the one who delivers it with the most impact that ends up getting the crown. And so that's my quick review of the Q&A segment of the Miss World competition. I hope this review was helpful and that you understood a lot of other tips. And if you want to prepare for your upcoming interview with my coaching and mentorship, then don't forget to check out the link given in the description box below, because our April batch dates are already announced. And if you book your seat fast, because the online batch has a limited capacity, so don't forget to check out the details, choose which course you want to enroll in, and I would love to see my YouTube subscribers become a part of the Conquer family. As always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye-bye.